I watched The Vault at the end of last week, and I just thought it was really brilliant entertainment. It's something about that kind of heist movie, and it just sat so perfectly in that genre. It must have felt pretty cool to be a part of a movie like this, because it is one of those movies that's so kind of steeped in and so rich in cinematic history.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's many of them. Obviously, the Ocean's films and the original Ocean's films. But I had a particular favorite with Robert Redford and George Segal, who had just passed away, I believe. The How to Steal a Diamond in 4 Easy Lessons. I think somebody called it the Hot Rock or something like that, maybe call that in America. But I've had a thing, you know, when the script came in and I had a read of it and I thought it was really good. I went in and my youngest is 20 and my oldest is like 28, 29. I said, I've just been sent a heist movie. And they went, the eyes started opening up. There is something about the genre with the heist movie that's really interesting. It's that chess game thing. It's the disparate, usually disparate people who come together who are, you know, wouldn't generally be seen, you know, drinking in the same bar, and they put their lives on the line for each other. And I think it's a wonderful thing. It's just the genre is wonderful. I really enjoy it, and I think in this movie it's told really well and kind of intelligently. And then you've got the added bonus with, you know, Famke's character, you know, that shady government stuff going on, and it's wonderful that they had they've had a relationship over the years. I thought I was really impressed with the script and really impressed with the boys that made it, the girls, of course. Wonderful, had a great time.
Yeah, it really felt like you were in your element here. I know, obviously, you know, you're one of those actors, you're a great character actor who takes on such a myriad of different roles across your career, but this one felt like it really tapped into your kind of sensibilities. Did you get a sense for that on set? Did you feel like when reading this that it had a kind of a touch of Liam Cunningham about it?
What's an aging father? Yeah. One could say I did actually find it quite easy to slip into. I mean, you know, some jobs you obviously have to do research if it's, you know, real people or historical characters or whatever it may be. You tend to do your research and try and throw yourself into it. But with this one, he's a kind of a self-made man, and he's comfortable in that. He's sort of outside society. He's not, you know, he doesn't hang with rich people or anything like that. You know, he's on boats, he gets down and dirty with these things, and at the same time he can put these people together, and there's an honesty to him. And I really like the way they kind of capture Freddie Highmore's character Tom, and they do it with honesty, while everybody else, all the big multinationals, are trying to, you know, fool him and suck him into the globalized industrial world or whatever. When he comes along and just kind of goes, you know, I know the kind of guy you are, and this is a job that'll suit you. And Tom gets intrigued because he gets it right on the head. He knows people, and I like that. But you're right. I did feel remarkably comfortable, remarkably quickly with it. I try not to examine why. I just kind of go with it. And it's and as you know from my stuff in the past, I am kind of I'm story driven. You know, I don't want to put up a story in front of people that will make them sorry they got a cab and a couple of pizzas and a babysitter and all that sort of stuff. I've got to be able to look them in the eye, and I happily look them in the eye with this movie.
Yeah, obviously there's the great backdrop of the World Cup. Are you a big football fan yourself, and do you remember that World Cup in particular?
It's weird because I'm not a huge, I don't follow the Premiership or any of that sort of stuff, but I do love the World Cup, and I've been really lucky. When the World Cup was filming in South Africa, I was filming at the time. And I was supposed to go when it was in the States in '94. I was filming A Little Princess with Alfonso Cuarón. So I managed to get to one game in Pasadena. And I was very lucky. I was at the opening game of the World Cup in Brazil when it was there. So I've been fortunate enough to have been in the area for the last few cups, totally by accident. So this was kind of very cool to be involved in. But as you know, we weren't going, the World Cup wasn't going on, obviously, when we were filming. So it was with great assistance from Madrid and the army. And at the beginning of the movie, we got great help from the government, from the customs. They were all real guys. The boats, the helicopters. That's the real deal in the Mediterranean. They're quite scary people. And it was wonderful to have that, because it added a sense of reality, because we were dealing with the real deal. And that was a great help.
Those scenes kind of wading through the crowds, I'm not sure if it's just because of the last year of COVID and stuff, but it felt like the biggest, like, most alien thing in the world. But I mean, obviously, you know, I'm not suggesting that in real life you're anywhere near as much as a thief as the character, but you've worked in some big you've worked in some big productions. I just wondered if you've ever taken home a little bit of memorabilia, maybe a souvenir from one of your projects that you've I mean, maybe you probably were allowed to, you might have asked, but I just wondered if you're a collector, because some actors do like to collect little memorabilia.
Oh, a little. Well, I certainly did on Game of Thrones. I nearly had to buy a new house to put the stuff that I'd swiped. Well, I didn't swipe. I like to think of it as I liberated some stuff. I got a lot of stuff off Game of Thrones, and I've actually said to the kids, you might have to wait till I die in case they look for the stuff back. But yeah, I've got a load of stuff. My daughter in her room has what she calls her wall of awesome. And she has quite a few bits. Game of Thrones, I've swiped a lot of stuff. I have a full-size Dothraki sword, and I have the from the first season that I was in, the bones, the finger bones. I have the bag that I was chasing. It was the one thing I kind of wanted, and it went missing for 4 years. I'd asked costume, and the assistant head said, "Yeah, there's no problem. We're not going to be using it again." And it got lost. And 4 years later, he walked up to me and went, "Pull out your hand," and put it in my hand, and it was wonderful. But by that time, I'd already started swiping stuff. So I got lots of stuff. I got some arrows, all kind of small stuff. And I'd asked before I got it, so I'll be all right with this. But I do have the stag that I gave to Shireen, that Davos carves for Shireen, and they you know, stuff that were kind of very much tied into monumental moments in the Davos characters, you know, run of it in the show. And they're lovely souvenirs to have. I'd never get rid of them. They're wonderful things. Just to remind myself.
Yeah, it's funny because you've had such a kind of decorated career, with worked with so many fantastic filmmakers and so a variety of great projects. But I'm assuming Game of Thrones must be the thing that you get recognised for most. Still, would you say that's?
Oh,
yeah,
I'm sure it'll go on my headstone. Yeah, I mean, it's you know, it went beyond a TV show, and as you know, it turned into a cultural phenomenon. And it's the longest I spent on any one project. I was, 8-9 years on that project. And it was wonderful. It was up the road. In the early stages of Dragonstone, I'm in Dublin, but it's just across the border in Northern Ireland. And I could have commuted to Dragonstone from my home. It's like 45 minutes to get to the kind of satellite studio that we were using close to the Republic. And it's a wonderful thing not to be dragged away. I mean, if this was being filmed in New Zealand or something like that, it would have been very, very difficult with the family. But it was a perfect storm of gorgeousness. I was in the biggest show in the world that was filming up the road. It was just the best. I've been the happiest actor for the last 10 years on Game of Thrones. I don't think there wasn't a peep out of me. It was wonderful.
Talking of big TV series, the Masters of the Universe one looks really interesting. Have you?
Yes.
Yeah. What can you tell us about? Because we're huge fans of that at the site. I mean,
yeah. I think I was even old before the original one came out. Yes, I'd spent I'd met Kevin Smith a number of times. And he'd interviewed me on the back of a boat in San Diego when we were doing Comic-Con. He hosts this, I think it was the IMDb boat. And he hosts these wonderful interviews. And, Kevin's a pop culture. He devours pop culture. And an accomplished filmmaker as well, of course. And I've met him a few times, and any time I get hunted down by him when I was in San Diego. And I saw him, and then I just got a call saying, look, I don't know whether he'd heard. I'd done some stuff on Rick and Morty, and I'd done some stuff on Solar Opposites a little bit. And then I got a call to do this. And everybody knows the chant, "I have the power," all that sort of stuff. And it is, it's part of, you know, pop culture history. So when they said they were doing this, and Netflix were involved, and there was high production values, and I mean, they've got a fantastic set of actors doing this, and I'm really looking forward to it. So, but I don't think it is it. I haven't got an exact time that it's coming out, but it is sometime this year, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Well, carry on. I just hope you just carry on enjoying what you do, which you evidently do. Because while you enjoy it,
love it.
We enjoy it in turn. So thank you so much for speaking to me today, Liam. And
no problem, Stefan.
Cool. Take care.
Take care of yourself.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey